Welcome to the DPOAA podcast. I'm so excited to finally connect up with this wonderful person. She has so much energy. Why don't you tell my audience a little bit about yourself, introduce yourself, and then we'll go from there.
Wonderful. Well, I am Shemeka Maddox, and the name of my company is Shefine Success. I help women to build or scale their first seven-figure business with 3 pillars that I go by. Of course, helping them with the confidence, the clarity, and the strategy behind what they're doing. But most importantly, what we do is it's all built on our foundation, which is our faith.
You know, faith is such a transformative thing. And I'm going to tell you how faith changed a man's life, my father's life, big time. We lived in Nevada, and Nevada is a gambling state. Gambling is available 24/7, 365. Okay. He gambled and gambled and know he had a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So he moved to California, turned his whole life around, found God, and really that established him in a stable base. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense.
Let me tell you, when my dad found God, oh my goodness, let me tell you, it was like night and day. Now he owns his own company, his own construction company, Fatino Incorporated. My last name is everywhere in the high desert. So my dad's proud of it, and I'm proud of my dad. I'm proud of my dad. Like, I'm super proud of him.
Absolutely.
Because he found God. And God is, there are so many words that you could say, but God is amazing. He can work wonders.
He is. And he can.
He does. One thing a lot of like successful people in the world talk about mindset and how, you know, how important that is, right? Because it is important. Don't you? What's your view on mindset?
Well, honestly, mindset is not something that you're born with. I mean, I feel like most times the things that you experience through life is environmental. It's how you're raised. But mindset is something that you are taught. You're taught you either have a positive mindset, a growth mindset, a wealthy mindset. But I truly believe that I didn't really shift into my full potential of my mindset and helping me have a money mindset. And knowing that I have a divine purpose on my life until I started mentorship, because it wasn't something that we discussed in our household. It wasn't a conversation about, oh, this is what your mindset should be. Like, this is what you should be doing. And honestly, it sounds like not even a normal conversation until you start to be around leaders and people helping you to position your life. But it's so important. I mean, and that's something that we discussed in our household. We started early on in our kids' life because we truly believe that the power of mindset is going to really be the power of your movement. So it's something that we are very intentional right now and teaching our kids. But I really think that it's something that once you tap into your true purpose and your divine mindset, wonders will happen. Wonders.
My grandma taught me thrift stores are the way to go when you don't have a lot of money. You can get your name brands. So it's a little bit emotional for me still because it just, like, I just recorded the videos like literally last week.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just this overwhelming feeling of like, I helped take the weight off of a family's shoulders that really needed it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And God is going to bless you tremendously for just discernment and knowing that, you have the ability to do something and touch one life who probably don't even know and understand how much that's helped that family. You don't know the weight of that burden that really was probably lifted. But that's wonderful to hear. What a great testimony.
And it makes me realize I used to be selfish. I used to be me. Me. Universe, me. I was acting like a child for a long time. And then God said, Dave, I started listening to God. I sat here laying in bed one time thinking of what I'm going to do. What things can I do to make glory in his name and reach a family that really was way down on their luck, like extremely down on their luck, where I know what that felt like.
Right.
Because I don't have a lot of money. I don't have that kind of money to help that family. And my cousin and my family came up to me right at the right time. They were like, David, we saw this family in the market, and boom, my person, my mentor, my backer of all my things that I'm doing was like, you know what, David, here you go. And a light bulb clicked in my head. I was like, oh, that's what happens when you're not so selfish and self-centered.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people are self-centered, and me in this social media generation of certain people, not everybody,
Right.
but there are certain people that go, oh, look at what they have on social media. Like, we should be focusing on things like how I affected a family. Wouldn't you agree? What's your view on that?
Yeah, I truly believe, honestly, that, when I asked God to allow me to walk in the purpose that He has for my life, I knew that what I do, a lot of things that I do, serving is first. And even in my daily intentions on serving my clients, I'm giving, and just when you start to give without the intent to receive, you really start to have an overflow. And I've learned through my practices, and even when I had everything, when I first built my first 7-figure business at my childcare facility, heart of Atlanta, downtown Atlanta, like, I was thinking that I was living a life. I had everything that I desired. My kids were great schools. I was married to my high school sweetheart. Don't worry about money. And then, I was struck by a stroke. I was thinking I was too young to have a stroke. Like, how did God allow this to happen to me? And it wasn't until I was sitting there unable to go and do the things that I needed to do that I really started to think about what my purpose was. Like, what if He had taken my life? I was so caught up in having it all that I had not the opportunity to even, give back the way that I should. Of course, I gave to families that were less fortunate in my school, but outside of my school, I didn't serve. I didn't even really thank God for allowing me to be in a position to be able to bless anyone or to be able to serve. So I think that moment really brought a lot of transparency in my life. It was a testament of my faith. And I asked God, if you allow me to live and to be able to come through this stroke without having any things that's going to delay me, I promise you from this day forward, I will serve you. And I've been serving and doing what I know He has a purpose for me on my life since then.
And it's funny that you talk about purpose, and because I had a heart episode where my heart, the lining on my heart almost exploded, and I could have died. I could have, but like, God was there. God came into the room. There was so much light in the room, and it's hard to explain this to people, but it's like a light that it's like a heavenly light, let's say, because that's what it was. It came into the room, and next thing you know, I wake up in the recovery room, and I'm looking up, and I open my eyes. I'm like, I'm alive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm alive. I needed to stop stressing about the baloney. I needed to stop carrying around the weights